And he's the one that had to take the lad to their father, because it's talking about the New Testament.
That's tight.
Oh, it's detailed.
I can't even think. I can't even
It's
think.
detailed. All right, and then so that's what went down. And so in verse 14 it says they commanded Naphtali to say these words. We, this is 14. We have gathered in the cattle and have come as far. See, he says it's time for the people to come in. We have gathered in the cattle and have come as far as to the road of Shechem and farther. When we found this coat upon the road in the wilderness, dipped in blood. And that's talking about the house of Israel, because when they came out of Egypt, immediately they went right into the wilderness. So he said we found this coat in the wilderness, dipped in blood, and dust is representing the multitudes of people. That's what it's talking about. Then he said, now therefore know whether it is your son's coat. And so he testified that it was his coat. Because the only way they would be justified because of the blood of the son. It's the only way they can be reconciled. Because remember back in the early verses, he said, how are we going to reconcile our father to this? That's it. So we're the only way that Christ can know us, God can know us, brother, is because Christ, the redemptive, we have to come through that. So then it's the only way we can be recognized, and that's what it's saying. But in this case, it's talking about the house of Israel. But if you go down, listen at Joseph. So when he found this out, listen at his lamentation. Here's verse 20. You talking about a lamentation. Verse 20 in Jasher.
And Jacob heard the words of his sons as he cried out with a loud voice. And he said, it is the coat of my son, and evil beasts have devoured him. Mm-hmm. Joseph is rent in pieces.
All right, hold it right there. So why is he saying that Joseph is rent in pieces? Why is he saying that? Right. Because remember when Christ said, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abides alone. But if it die, it will bring forth much fruit. So in other words, when Christ died, now he's divided. Everybody can partake of this. That's why I said he's rent in pieces. Then what? Keep going.
For I sent him this day to see whether it is well with you and well with the flocks, and to bring my word again from you. Mm-hmm. And he went as I commanded him. Mm-hmm. And this has happened to him this day, while I thought my son was with you. Mm-hmm. And the sons of Jacob answered and said, he did not come to us, right. Neither have we seen him from the time of our going out from you until now. Mm-hmm. And when Jacob heard that words, he again cried out aloud. Mm-hmm. And he rose up and tore his garments. Right. And he put sackcloth on his loins. And he wept bitterly, and he mourned and lifted up his voice and weeping and exclaimed and said these words, Joseph, my son, oh my son Joseph, I sent you this day after the welfare of your brethren, and behold, you have been torn in pieces through my hands has that happened to my son.
You see, he said, through my hand. So this is God saying, it was, Acts 2 says, let's get Acts 2. This is some prophecy here, man. Acts 2 says, verse, is it 13? Acts 2 and 13, what is it? Notice he said, at my hand has this happened. Jacob said this.
2:13.
2:13, what is it?
Or is it others mocking said?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Go to, 2:22, verse 23. Watch this. That Jacob said, at my hand has this happened. Watch this.
Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. Him, being delivered by the determined counsel of the foreknowledge of God.
See that? By the determinate counsel. So Jacob said, by my hand has this happened to my son. Because it's the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God. Because it's God's will for him to be, for he had to die for the people. He said, at my hand has this happened. Go back to Joshua. I'm telling you, this is detailed, man. This is.
Okay, Joshua.
Then what? Verse 24. Keep going down. Watch this.
Of the 43rd chapter. It grieves me for you, Joseph my son, it grieves me for you. How sweet were you to tell, how sweet were you to me during life, and now how exceedingly bitter of your death to me. Oh, that I had died in your stead, Joseph my son, for it grieves me sadly for my son, for you my son. Oh, my son, Joseph, my son, where are you, and where have you been thrown? Arouse from your place, and come and see my grief for you. Oh, my son,
You
Joseph.
see what he said? My grief for you.
Yeah.
What?
Some more. Come now and number the tears gushing from my eyes down my cheeks, and bring them up before Yahweh, that his anger may turn from me. O Joseph, my son, how do you fall? By the hand of one by whom no one had fallen.
Listen to this. Listen to what he's saying.
From the beginning of the world to this day.
By the hand of what?
No.
Of no one. Read it again.
How did you fall? By the hand of one by whom no one had fallen from the beginning of the world.
By the hand of one whom no one had fallen from the beginning. It's talking about God. By the hand of one whom no one had fallen from the beginning.
Until this day.
Then what?
For you have been put to death by the smite of an enemy, inflicted with cruelty. But surely I know that this has happened to you on account of the multitude of my sins.
Look at it. Wow. Then what?
Arise now and see how bitter is my trouble for you, my son. Although I did not rear you, nor fashion you, nor give you breath and soul, but it was Elohim who formed you and build your bones.
He said, so what did he do? What did the angel tell Mary? The Holy Ghost shall come upon you, the power of the highest shall come overshadow you, and that holy thing which shall be born of you shall be called the Son of God. He said, I didn't rear you. There it is.
Wow.
Just read it again.
Let's read it again. Arise now and see how bitter is my trouble for you, my son. Although I did not rear you, nor fashion you, nor give you breath and soul. But it was Elohim who formed you and built your bones and covered them with flesh.
And then what?
And breathed in your nostrils the breath of life. And then he gave you unto me.
There it is. There it is.
Wow.
The testimony of Jesus.
That's powerful.
See?
Wow.
So the Spirit put that body in the womb.
He didn't rear him. Wow. That's heavy. Born of the Spirit.
That's it. Then what he said in 29, look at it.
Now truly Elohim who gave you unto me, he has taken you from me, and such then has befallen you this day, and all the works of Elohim are good.
See? all the works of God, all the works of Elohim are good.
All works.
Because if this hadn't happened, nobody could be saved.
That's true.
My.
See, then in 31 is when everybody else felt bitter and repented for what they had done, and this is talking about the house of Israel. After the fact, then they repented. After they killed him, he said, and that's what he told them. All right, we probably stop right there. I'm telling you, it gets more to it than that, man. This is like the ultimate.
Mic drop. Ultimate mic
Yeah,
drop.
this is it. No, that's what I tell you. If people could really know what this is testifying about, it would eliminate all this confusion.
Yeah.
It would. But the thing is, it's hid. It's hid from people.
Christ concealed.
It's concealed to them, and it's already the New Testament, but it's still concealed to them.
I got tongue tied on some of that. I couldn't get it out.
Did good. You did real good.
He said what he said, he was put to death by one of whom no one had been before
Yes.
up to that point.
Wow.
That's tight, man. I read that again.
Peeking at us, Chef.
Huh?
They're peeking at us.
Oh, that's good. Come on, look, they can get something.
I think they work together. Sorry.
Oh, no, we.
Oh, you still? Okay,
Yeah, we
okay,
got-
okay, okay.
we got
All right, sorry. Here, Alex, here.
I got tongue tied on this.
You did real good.
Look, and it covers the whole, that story about Job covers the whole thing,
The whole
the
thing.
whole thing.
Wow.
If you get that story, then you get the New Testament, because
Right.
it's definitely talking.
What? We're gonna have to be hitting this.
Maybe 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, look, we're gonna be turning with this for months,
Do you mind doing it Wednesday through Friday, sir?
right? Alright, good.
So the Sefer Bible goes into more details in King James. I never read that before.
Yeah, Joshua is,
Jubilees.
Jubilee, and it's breaking down, it shows all the feast days and everything. That's how I found out that the Lord was, he was born on the Feast of Weeks. That's how I found out, because Jubilee said that Isaac was born in the 3rd month, which is the Feast of First Fruits of Harvest. And that's talking about Pentecost. So December is ruled out. All right, we good? All right. Well, we pray something said that cause you to look at these things. Till the next time, shalom.
Oh my goodness. This thing does not work.